Hello there, and welcome back to Damos Beatbox. And today we're just gonna be building and chilling, I guess. Really, I'm in Space Engineers currently, and I'll probably just be building a vessel, maybe talking about some things. Who knows? Um, but yeah. We'll be doing this. I'll be explaining my thought processes on this build. Maybe it'll help some people out or something like this. But yes. Um. So basically, at first, what we want to do first is construct the center line here of the vessel itself. So in this case, it'll be a 20 block averaged, maybe plus or minus 2 on each end at some point. And then what we want to do is we want to try and figure out some key points of the vessel. So in this case, I think I want to something like oh, and you can also press M and then click, and then as you press M, it'll change the plane and stuff, and then pressing N will turn off the plane if needed. So that's a very useful tool there. But I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna do something like this. Try and make out a rib structure basically, and then I want this to come out to like here, and then basically 1 or 2 blocks more, and then have like an engine block here. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And so basically, this extends out like this. Maybe have a 1 block further back. Then 1 block further out. Something like this. There's going to be a lot of iterating and stuff, because that's how building is in most things. Just you see something that you don't want, and then you'll just change it. Now, I guess what we could do, because we have our general structure, is I think we'll probably start off with the engine bays here. Something around maybe like this. Oh, I missed. And obviously, when you start off building, if you start off building things that aren't great, then that's not a problem. You just have to continue building, and you'll get better after some time. I've been building on this game for around 500-600 hours, so I'm not actually too great at it, but I've done enough to have some amount of experience to this. Maybe able to help some people with the basics here. What we could do now is start off with some squares to fill up the or to try and build out the space basically. Also, just the thing is, when you hold control, you can make a line, and then when you hold control and shift, you can make a square of blocks, which is quite nice. It'll make building much easier. Now that's only a feature in creative mode, so please don't attempt this in survival. But yes. Now what I could do is maybe build out like this. Something around maybe like this, or instead I could have it as this. Sorry about the lag, by the way. I'm having some issues with the computer and things, so we'll have to deal with that sadly for a bit. Probably like that. And then back here, I'll have a segment like this. Maybe extend it out a little bit more this way. Something like this. And I think I'm gonna bring these out to here and just remove that. Make it a bit closer. Yeah, something like this. Although these seem a little bit fat. Like this. Have 3 blocks there, and then remove this. Maybe remove this, go here, and then extend this out by 1. I think that could look pretty interesting. So that's the general idea of the vessel. This is what I like to start off with, is just the flat, like, basically image, the 2D version of the vessel, which is basically what it'll look like on from the top and the bottom. Obviously from the front and the side you won't be able to see nothing because there's nothing to see. But yes, now we can probably start building out the shape with some of these. Your turning buttons, you can see there in the top, the cube in the top right there, that home and delete page down, insert page up, those are the general, those are the usual controls to build out of. And yes, so basically I'm just shaping the vessel how I feel I might want it. So in this case, kind of like this. It's kind of like a dart shape, I guess we can call it. And then have like a bit going this way. I think is a pretty good thing there. I'm not sure if that's gonna look very nice though. This bit here. Maybe I could put a triangle piece there instead. Round off the buttocks of the vessel. Or I can extend it out again like this. Oh, that's actually not bad. I like it. I like how this is. Now the next important thing, control 1 2 3 4 5 6 to change your toolbars, and then G to add items. The next thing I want is thrusters. So I'll grab like the 3 general types of thrusters, and I'll probably use hydrogen in this case. Which I think I'll just use maybe a row of 3 vertical like this, and then have the same over on this side, and then have some on the sides on the top, and we'll basically have a line of conveyor belts. Let me first connect it there so that the vessel don't detach when I try and, of course, modify this. Also, I've set this vessel to be in station mode. So if I do detach something, I can just reattach it, and then it's fine. I mean, you can't move this, so it's an immovable object, so that's quite nice. So something that looks like this, and then I'll have the conveyor go through this way, kind of like I'll use these armored conveyor belts here. And what I'll end up doing is I'll end up actually just putting junctions all through here. Oh, got a little bit of lag, which is fine. Let me save. There we go. And then just for safety purposes, I guess I can turn these into corners. Okay. So now we've got connection to our 6 thrusters for forward and backwards movement. Now obviously this is probably not going to be a very fast vessel, as the number of thrusters compared to the overall size of the ship is, I mean, it's pretty small, I would say. Now what I could do is add like one larger thruster in the back here, which might end up being what I do in the future, but for now we'll keep it to this. Then we want to build around. There we go. Around this. Okay. Let's give it a bit of a shape on the side here, like this. Now let me Alt F10 and then change the direction of the sun, because it's allowed. Now this is a bit of a bad spot to actually place the vessel, because now I can't really see, so I'll press L to turn on the headlamps, and we'll deal with that instead. Now let me bust out my thrusters, and I will put a row of 3 on this side, which will put a row of 3 on the other side, so we'll have some side movement. Maybe upgrade this to 5 at some point, but for now that's not going to be too big of a problem. And then we can probably, I think I'll bring this. I'll just have 3 lines going up like this. One is would be more correct. And then bust out my thrusters, put it there. So now we've got the upwards facing thrusters, and then we just do the same on the bottom here. So now we've got like basically all of our movement in one section here. Yes. Now I can just build around this, and there we go. So there's like the thruster block section. Now I'm going to probably go ahead and bring this up to here, at least, kind of like this. And what I could do is I could just cover these, and so that basically concludes our the construction of our thruster blocks here, which I usually tend to build these first, because thruster placement after you've built the overall shape is usually a very, very difficult task. And so I generally try not to do that. So now that I've actually placed all my thrusters, I mean, that we don't actually have to worry about those anymore. We can actually worry about the rest of the vessel, which is quite nice. Now what could happen is something like this, and then connect it over here in some form. So I think, and from here, like, the shaping is kind of just trying to find the actual blocks and things that fit in these spaces. Even I tend to have some problems trying to find the right blocks that go into spaces. So this, and in most cases the blocks fit, but in some cases I tend to or I try to modify the block so that it fits better, because some blocks do fit better than others. I'll do the same on the bottom here. So now we have the overall connection point of all this. So now we can work on the shape of the vessel itself, which the shape of the vessel is probably going to be different in some form, which most of the time what I tend to do is make the shape of the vessel itself be slightly longer, or bigger than the actual thruster block itself. So a couple of blocks could be nice. Let me add a bit of detail to this. Because making it really bland is like, it's not great. So you want to add some sort of detail, or blocks that might make the vessel a bit different to the normal blocks. We add the same detail at the bottom, although the bottom may be modified in some way. I think I'm gonna keep this let me add some of these triangles. So now it's just that tad bit bigger or taller than than this here. And what I can do is I could absolutely just put the same blocks here, but I'm not too sure if I like how that looks. A bit weird, but we'll let it slide for now. Here there's a conveyor belt, so I'll bring the conveyor out again, which is there. There we go. So we have some conveyors going into the cockpit, or the area here. And back here, I'm not too sure what I want to do actually back here. I'm going to do this, and here there's like a specific block that I can use. I think it's a corner type. Oh, and you just deleted a very potentially important block. Well, this is good. We've built the like the backwards slope, I guess we can say, in which we can actually finalize this just by going like this, and then what I could do is this inside. There we go. And so now, what I can do is I think I'm gonna put another slope here, and then I'm gonna extend this out to connect it to there. Something along those lines. And now I have to transition. I actually have no idea if that is possible. Oh. Well, that's nice. And then here I can, oh. That's kind of funny actually. And yeah, I'll just put that. And we might need to do the same on this side, so that's what I shall do here. So that's a base mirrored, so this side will be a normal base generally. There we go. And then I just need to bring this down. So use this, and then bring it down. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. There we are. Ah. That's quite thick, I might say. Maybe instead of full blocks, I might just turn it into a sloped. Here, this will be a little bit easier because I think there's a specific block that I can just place in between here. Like so. Like so. And then this. Now this is a little bit more difficult here. Aha. And I feel like it's a bit stubby because of this here. Yeah, if I bring it out to there, it'll be less stubby, I would say. So basically now we just need to find something that I can place here, here. This is fine because that's on the inside. But I think just something like this. Which means I have to remove both of those. And I gotta modify this here, which is, I think that would be a transition of some kind. Unless it's this. Which it is. This? Oh, sick! Hell yeah. Alright. Would love to see it. And then here, we just want to bust out number 3. This to put there, that to put there, and then we'll remove this and modify it over here. It's a bit better. It could be better, but it's a bit better. I think I can, now I can start placing some essential bits here and there. So a battery, maybe a gyro here, a couple of them. Theoretically that should just, we can put like an O2H2 generator in this, like that, and then have a connection port down the bottom here, which connects out to back here. There we go. Can I Thanos snap him? No, he's a bit too far away from me. Control X deletes a vessel. Like if I put a block here, and then I Control X to block. Now, I want the cockpit to be like right here. And I can, oh, it's still station, so I did that by pressing I, going into info, and then clicking convert to station, so convert back to a ship. There we go. Now we can move around. We can go forwards and back, and we can go side to side and up and down. Yeah. And I can face my vessel in the way of the sun. It's actually kind of maneuverable for what it is too, which is quite nice. Now I can actually see an entire side of the vessel here, except for this crevice, which isn't too big of a problem. Let's build the essentials. We have batteries, we have gyros. I think we basically have everything we want right now, except for the tanks, which would be a little bit more tough because we need to fit this massive tank somewhere on the vessel. What I could do is place it down the bottom here, but doing that will mean the bottom is like thick. So instead I think I'm gonna layer the bottom with some small hydrogen tanks. Which will also mean that the bottom is going to be my most vulnerable location because oxygen blows up. Let's grab up some sloped bits. What if instead of that of what I did, I do it from the start. I started like this. Yeah, look at that. That's way more sleek. And then I just have to test if that's actually like a connection point that works or not. And apart from that, I mean, this just has to go like this, and then like this, and then like this, and like this. I'll put a block there. And what I'll actually do is I'll do exactly what I said I didn't want to do, which is move that forwards. Oh. There we go. You know what? I can actually just put a that. There we go. That's weird looking. Let's just put that. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. Let me change the position of the sun really quick, so I can see here. Okay. And then I'll have the door. I can actually put the door on the back side here. Maybe a couple of them. Maybe have a door here, like hidden away on the side. No, I think it has to be accessible. So for that, I think I'll just put the door here. Oh, and there's another very important thing I need, which is a gravity generator. So in here, I need to put the gravity gen like in the ground. There we go. I think this is airtight now. So I think what I'll do is I'll move the batteries. Oh, I can actually do something like this. I think I'll remove these. Yep, the batteries are gone. I understand. I'll put the battery. Oh, perfect. which will allow me to open this up on both sides. Set a T-junction right across here. Go like this, and then here I can put myself an air vent. Nice. And it's airtight. There we go. Well, I think that's a good day or a good time to move on here. We've done some pretty good designing here. Did some. No, we obviously have a few bits and pieces to fix, and also at the bottom to complete. But this was a very nice session of building here and chilling with our people. So thanks for watching this video with me and just, you know, having a bit of time on this session with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.